Well, hi, everybody. Welcome to Hot Mike. I'm your co-host, Bill Whittle. Hot Mike can't be here today, unfortunately. He was dabbling in the dark arts, trying to find a bitchin' Halloween costume, and he accidentally opened a portal into hell, so he's currently trying to dog paddle his way across a lake of burning fire. We expect to have him back by the weekend. So let's go over the garbage train. There's some lighthearted parts to this news, but there's something really kind of serious in there. There's a message that's getting lost in all the noise. And when Joe Biden tries to claim that he didn't actually say, or his fan handlers or the mainstream media, no, he didn't really refer to Trump supporters as garbage. I just want to say, come on, man. You know, we're a grown-ass country. We know what people are saying when they're talking directly to us. But now to the point I wanted to make this video for. Because everybody's up in arms about being called garbage, and there's all kinds of heated replies, I'm not garbage, and people are cheering and yelling and screaming and so on. We shouldn't be upset about being called garbage. It's not nice to be called garbage, but it's a relatively mild term. Everybody's all lathered up about the fact that Joe Biden called us garbage, and nobody's lathered up about the fact that they called us Nazis and fascists. That Kamala Harris was asked directly, do you think Donald Trump is a fascist? Here's the clip.
Do you think Donald Trump is a fascist?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
Fascists and Nazis is what we should be getting lathered up and absolutely irate about. And as usual, while Donald Trump has a great eye for political theater, we still don't have the background or the ear. I'm talking about the campaign. I'm talking about the entire side, actually, Republicans and conservatives in general. We don't have the rhetorical skill to understand how to diffuse these kind of things at the root. For example, if I'd been handling communications during this whole Madison Square Garden Nazi rally thing, the first thing I would do is I would refuse to use the word Nazi at all. I would say, you're calling Donald Trump a National Socialist. Is that what you're doing? You're calling him a National Socialist? Really? Well, I'm not calling him a National Socialist. I'm calling him a Nazi. It's the same thing, you idiot. Nazi it's a contraction. It's an acronym, essentially. It's an acronym for the I have to teach people everything. Look, here's what Nazi actually means. So pay attention. The term Nazi is a contraction of the German for National Socialist German Workers' Party. That's the official designation of the Nazi Party, the NSDAP, the NSDAP. In German, it's the National Sozialistische Deutsche Arbeiterpartei. The National Socialist German Workers' Party. In other words, you can't spell Nazi without Socialist Workers' Party. So immediately turn it around and start saying, you called him a socialist. We know who the socialists are here. We know who's proud to be a socialist. They're National Socialists. They're not Nazis. They're National Socialists. The second thing they did was they called us a fascist. And the way to respond to that is, you don't even know what the word fascist means. Because if you did know what the word fascist means, you wouldn't be calling Donald Trump a fascist. You wouldn't even be inventing the idea of Donald Trump being a fascist, because fascist also means a socialist and a collectivist. And if you don't believe me, let's go a little bit further. The term fascist actually preceded the term Nazi. The National Socialists in Germany modeled themselves after Mussolini in Italy, who did it 10 years before Hitler really came to power. He called his party the Partito Nazionale Fascista, the National Fascist Party, and he used as his emblem this. This is the symbol that he used, and it's called a fasces. A fasces is a bundle. It's Latin for bundle. In this case, it's a bundle of sticks, and the fasces is a collectivist symbol, meaning that an individual stick can be broken, but when we all come together, wrapped around by the bonds of a strong and powerful state, as a collective, we're unbreakable. This particular symbol goes back to the Romans, where it's often attached to an axe head to symbolize authority. When the Roman consuls would walk through the streets of Rome, they would be attended by guards holding these fasces, these bundles of sticks that had a ceremonial axe on the end, and this was the symbol of state authority. And I have to tell you, I didn't realize this until fairly late in the game, but that symbol, the fasces, that Joe Biden accused Donald Trump of being as a fascist. Well, here's a picture of Joe Biden standing directly in front of two fasces himself. As President of the United States, they flank the Speaker of the House in the House of Representatives. They also make up the chair in the statue of Abraham Lincoln in the Lincoln Monument. It is a symbol of collective authority. That's what it is. And to talk to the man who's representing individualism and a reduction of the power of the state. To call him a fascist is a contradiction in terms. It's an oxymoron, just like you are, Joe, without the oxy. So both the Nazis, the National Socialists in Germany, and the fascists, that'd be the totalitarians in Italy, both believed in a strong central state and total control over the economy. And in this, they had in common their relationship with their ideological brothers, the communists. Now, people say, oh, the communists are on the left and the Nazis are on the right. No, the National Socialist German Workers' Party, the Nazis, and the Union of Soviet Socialist Republic, the Soviets, are not opposites. I think it was Jonah Goldberg who said, no, it's Coke and Pepsi. They're both different flavors of the same thing. They're both totalitarian states where the state is absolutely primal over the individual and has complete control over the individual. Individual has no rights whatsoever. Nazis, fascists, and communists all have the same things in common. And I'll tell you something else that's a little interesting for Democrats to be bandying around those terms, because Democrats feel the same way as the Nazis and the fascists and the communists do, and I can prove it by showing you right now my patented matrix of garbage. So let's go over the garbage matrix real quick and see how all this stuff actually lines up. So let's lay them out, shall we? In our garbage matrix, we have the Nazis, the National Socialists of Germany. We have the fascists, the totalitarians from Italy. We have the communists, the economic socialists from the Soviet Union. We have the Democratic Party of the United States, and then we have MAGA, the Make America Great Again movement. Let's see how these things all fit out in the matrix of garbage. Let's start with the idea of collectivism. Are they collectivists? Well, let's see. The Nazis, yes. The fascists, yes. The communists, yes. The Democrats, yes. MAGA, no. Okay. Are they in favor of disarming the population? The Nazis, yes. The fascists, yes. The communists, yes. The Democrats, yes. MAGA, no. Are they in favor of curtailing free speech and limiting free speech? The Nazis, yes. The fascists, yes. The communists, yes. The Democrats, yes. MAGA, no. What about the handy idea of having your very own state-controlled news media? The Nazis, yes. The fascists, yes. The communists, yes. The Democrats, yes. MAGA, no. What about rule by elite instead of rule by the common man, the common people? The Nazis, yes. The fascists, yes. The communists, yes. The Democrats, yes. The MAGA Republicans, no. Centralized power held in the capital. The Nazis, Berlin, yes. The fascists in Rome, yes. The communists in Moscow, yes. The Democrats in Washington, yes. MAGA, no. How about criminalizing political opponents? Well, the Nazis, yes. The fascists, yes. The communists, yes. The Democrats, yes. You can look at Mar-a-Lago and you can look at Donald Trump's multiple trumped-up charges. Absolutely, they believe in criminalizing their political opponents. What about MAGA? No. Donald Trump could have put Hillary Clinton in jail and he didn't. And among many other criminals, he decided it would be better for the country not to do that. You can see that sort of doesn't really match the rest of the program here. And finally, which one of these parties put their internal enemies into camps? Actually deported their own citizens into camps? Well, the Nazis, yes. The fascists, yes. The communists, yes. The Democrats, yes. You could thank FDR for that over Republican opposition. And MAGA, no. So there's your matrix of garbage. There it is. Notice anything that stands out as being a little bit different than the flow here? The nerve of the Democrats to refer to MAGA Republicans as either Nazis or fascists is beyond my understanding. It's as plain as day, and there's no way around it. But even this is trivial because right now we're just talking about our hurt feelings. I don't like being called a fascist. I don't like being called a Nazi because I'm neither of them. Neither is Trump. Neither are you. But much, much, much more importantly is this. When you call Donald Trump and his supporters Nazis or fascists, but especially Nazis, National Socialists, what you're doing is you are disappearing down the rhetoric hole 6 million human lives that were exterminated in gas chambers all throughout the Nazi regime in terms of 6 million Jews and probably another 6 million homosexuals, people with mental disabilities, gypsies. All of them went down into gas chambers and they never came out again. And by saying that that great mass crime is the moral equivalent of disagreeing with somebody, when saying that the man who orchestrated the mass murder of 12 million people in a factory of destruction is exactly the same as somebody who you disagree with politically because he might want a smaller government or you don't like his hair. You have taken those victims of Nazism and evaporated them into meaninglessness. Take a look at this. You know what this is a picture of? It's from the gas chambers at Auschwitz. Those are the marks left by human fingernails scratching against reinforced concrete. People tearing their fingernails off of their hands. When you torture somebody, you rip off their fingernails. It's about the most painful thing you can do. These are the marks of people who have ripped their own fingernails off of their own hands in a desperate effort to climb out of a gas chamber. So if you want to call Donald Trump a Nazi and his supporters Nazis and fascists, when I see people trying to get out of Madison Square Garden and get away from the Trump rally by ripping off their fingernails, by trying to climb off reinforced concrete walls and get up and out of there, then I'll start taking you seriously. Until then, you're nothing but low-life historical deniers who have, as usual, taken something that is sacred and deserving of protection and conservation. In other words, taken the magnitude of this crime and reduced it to a short-term, cheap, lying, inaccurate, political 10-cent ploy. It's a pathetic and sad disgrace. And if the Republican Party and the MAGA movement in general had somebody who really, really, truly understood rhetoric, then there would not be a Jewish person left in America who'd be voting Democrat after you pointed out to them that what they have basically done by calling Donald Trump a Nazi and calling his supporters Nazis and fascists is they have disappeared the greatest single crime that the West has seen in the history of civilization, and they have turned it into a party joke, into a Halloween costume. He's cartoon Hitler now. Hitler means nothing. There's no more final solution. There's no more death camps. There's no more extermination centers. There's no more Treblinka, no more Sobibor. None of it. It's all gone. It's all disappeared into the rhetoric hole now. It's just something you call somebody you don't like. And this is the garbage that needs to be addressed. Not being called garbage. I can take being called garbage. Calling me a fascist, calling me a Nazi, those are fighting words. And I mean to keep them that way. And you need to keep them that way by spreading this video around and showing people the nature of the crime that accusation caused. Not the garbage accusation, that's trivial, that's nothing. Call us a Nazi to our face and see what happens. Call us Nazis and fascists to our face and see what happens. Because some of us know what those words mean and know what those people did. We'll see you next time right here on Hot Mic.